This week, we're switching gears and going in depth with the Asian Pacific American Community Center, also known as APAC.
They provide many crucial services for Asian American communities and low-income families within Visitation Valley.
APAC reaches out to families in this community by giving them a place to call home. In today's show, we'll explore several of the programs they provide, including the Children's After-School Program and the Performing Arts classes.
We'll also sit down in studio with Executive Director Rex Tabora, followed by a performance by singer Katrina Luwaneg.
But first, let's take a tour of APAC and learn about their many programs and services and meet Kelvin Chan, the program coordinator of the organization.
The main point of our services is that most of it is free. My name is Kelvin. I'm the program coordinator at Asian Pacific American Community Center. We provide actually tons and tons of services. I can start with the day-to-day. The day-to-day stuff is like translation services. We provide a lot of translation services to like the Asian immigrant community, mostly Cantonese and Mandarin speaking, Tai Chi classes, free tax filing, discounted Mandarin classes for students, an after-school program for kids now. We also are working on a seniors program, signing up for CalFresh, food stamps, and many other services also. The idea with these free services, it provides a low-income neighborhood in Viz Valley that needs these services because they're low income and they don't have the means basically to pay for these services if they were to go anywhere else. We're also providing a safe place for people like kids or seniors to be at so they don't have to be on the streets to interact or endanger themselves while they're out there. We are called the Asian Pacific American Community Center. However, we are not Asian exclusive. It is a bit of a misnomer that we're called Asian Pacific American Community Center. It's because we were founded by a group of Chinese or Asian people and they wanted to provide these services to this community. However, it's a misnomer because we do not exclude or discriminate in any other way. And on top of that, we help people in terms of like their taxes. It's not just Asians who are low income. You can be African American, Latino, or Caucasian, or whatever creed or color you are, we'll still help you.
And now, the moment we all have been waiting for, we have the special opportunity to talk with one very important person from APAC. With us today, we have Executive Director Rex Tabora. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. I wanted to ask you, tell us about your roles and duties and how you contribute to APAC.
Well, thank you for having me here, Christina. So I'm the interim executive director for APAC. So I have left in my contract about 18 months.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a little over 2 years. My predecessor went to work for Assembly Member David Chu, so I got thrown into this role. I'm also a board member of APAC, and what I do on a day-to-day basis is really run the day-to-day operation for APAC, a nonprofit organization that was established back in 1999 by a group of newly arrived Chinese immigrants. Back then, about 17, 20, 30 years, 25 years ago, there weren't that many Chinese immigrants in Visitation Valley. So with their lack of social skills and the lack of language skills, they were really bullied, picked on, robbed, and sometimes even murdered. So they found a strong bond to really work together to make sure that they get access to the mainstream government services and programs. So our role is to help them get into that. Things like CalFresh, VITA, which is the Voluntary Income Tax Assistance. So we have volunteers. Our staff are all certified by the IRS. We prepared taxes for the low income. If your household income is less than $54,000, we do that free of charge because paying a certified accountant or a tax preparer $75, $80, $100, sometimes that could translate to about a month's worth of groceries for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I just got my taxes done and they were not cheap at all.
Yep,
so I hear you there.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing to hear because, this is such a great organization. They help kids, they help low-income people, but it really started in kind of a very serious place, right? Because of what the Asian community was facing during that time. I wanted to ask you, what kind of projects and events is APAC involved with besides the ones that you mentioned?
So some of the projects that we're involved in, we conduct many workshops, public safety, health, just those sort of workshops, especially again for the immigrants and the low-income families. And I should step back. We started out as an Asian organization. Today we've evolved to serving everybody in the Valley.
Yes.
So every ethnic background, African Americans, Latinos, Caucasians that have been there. There's a lot of Italians and other folks from Southern Europe that live in Visitation Valley. It's really one of the richest and diverse community in San Francisco. So we also provide, we do a food drive for our community there because they're one of the most food insecure population in San Francisco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many folks don't know that. We live in a very rich city, but a lot of people over there, some of the families only eat once or twice a day. We also partner with the SFPD. We collect a couple hundred toys a year during Christmas for low-income kids. And some of these kids
That's so sweet.
don't have presents at their home because, again, spending $20, $30, $50, $100 for a toy versus feeding your entire family. So those are the kind of decisions that our families have to deal with.
What's your favorite program that you've worked with?
Wow, I like all of them. This after-school program that was just developed recently, that came about because of Visitation Valley is the lowest performing schools in the SF Unified School District, and there are many factors that plays into that. One of them is a lot of the, our families, their parents have 2 or 3 jobs, so they're not home to assist their kids with their homework. Let alone most of the parents don't even have more than a 5th grade education, so they really don't understand the some of their the academic needs. So what we did is I recruited folks from USF, from San Francisco State. The volunteers that you saw in your clip earlier, those are actually San Francisco State students from the Asian American Studies. They come out to help some of these kids because we firmly believe that the ticket out to poverty, one of them is through education.
Definitely, definitely. Do you have any kind of favorite memories that you have, specific people that have kind of touched your heart in this program?
Yeah. So one of them is during the kids, during our Christmas toy drive, the kid had the biggest smile in his face. I didn't know what was going on. He was so excited. And later on, his mom told me that was the only present they had at their house for that Christmas. This was a couple years ago. And recently, we were able to help a young widow move out of her horrible situation by doing fundraising for her so she could move to a better place. That really resonated with me and my staff.
Definitely,
So,
you're going to make me cry a little bit. That's so good that you guys can do
Yeah.
that for those people. I wanted to ask you, what is the best way for someone to get involved with APAC, whether they want to volunteer or they need assistance?
Yes. So if you're a student or if you're a young person, we could really help. Come out and volunteer. Help our after-school program. We also have a senior program. The seniors would love to have young folks out there and talk to them. And if for the folks who necessarily don't have the time, donate, because we have a lot of amazing, we're very fortunate to have an amazing staff who are grossly underpaid. I'd really like for them to be able to live in the city.
And before we wrap up, I just want to say I think it's great that you're reaching out to all different types of people in that area. I will definitely check you guys out and maybe volunteer one day. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. You are doing such wonderful things for the families in Visitation Valley, and I'm glad we're here to help spread your message.